Hi, this is Gertrude Mache here in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And today I'm going to be interviewing a woman who has been working throughout the world to help girls get to go to school in a very, very unique way. Is based here in Albuquerque and has an amazing project she'll be sharing with us today. Christine, welcome.
Well, thank you very much. It's my pleasure to be here.
Tell us a little bit about your organization and what you do.
Yeah, gladly. My 501c3 is called Women to Be. We've been around for two and a half years. And what we do is we fabricate and distribute underwear and reusable, washable sanitary pads to girls around the world. We've been twice to Nepal and once to Guatemala, and next year we have even bigger plans.
Fantastic. What inspired you to start this project?
Well, I have a friend who lived in Nepal until early adulthood, until she came here to the United States. And she had lived for those years in a very remote and very, very poor and desperate area in Nepal. When she came to the United States, we met and we became friends, and she told me over those years the horrific, brutal conditions under which she had lived for all those years. Food quality, lack of health care, lack of sanitation. And one day we were having tea. Just over tea, she told me that none of the girls or women there, including herself, had underwear or sanitary pads. And I was just stunned. It was hard for me to imagine my dear, gentle, kind friend living like that. So I took my sense of being stunned and I transformed it into being galvanized. I knew I could not live on the planet another minute knowing that there were still girls and women out there living under those conditions. I found a way to help that situation, and here I am today.
So describe to me exactly what your product looks like, because a lot of people take for granted what they have in the Western world, right?
Right. So
women in the Western world have access to all kinds of products. Right. Please describe this to me so that people can really understand your work.
I'm going to show you a couple of pieces. I mean, everybody knows what underwear looks like, but every girl gets 2 pairs of underwear. And this is a sanitary pad. It's made from flannel, and oftentimes we put some terry cloth in it. And she gets 8 of these pads. And then we have what we call a protector. And so the pads fit in these little pockets in this protector, and within this fabric here is a waterproof barrier. She also gets a washcloth to keep herself clean. She gets a couple of Ziploc bags that she can use to store her used pads during the day, take them home, wash them, let them dry overnight. And one of the most important things that we have found that girls and women benefit from is we also give them a sex education class. So now we're explaining what menstruation is, what sexual intercourse is, how she can keep better care of herself, pregnancy. We delivered this sex education class to girls and women who knew nothing. And so after this, we provide these women and girls with a calendar. And the importance of this calendar is incredible. This calendar not only allows a girl to predict when she's going to get her next period so she can be prepared for school the next day, it also, when she becomes sexually active, allows her to avoid unintended pregnancy. And this is key.
Wow. And you've been operating for how many years now?
Almost 2 years.
And the countries that you have focused on are Nepal, correct?
Yes, Nepal and Guatemala. We'd like to go back next year, but we're also searching to expand. So we'd be looking for a country where local resources are willing to partner with us. You know, responsible, steady people on the ground, speaking the language, knowing where to go, knowing the culture, knowing how to just even get from A to B, and joining in with us to make this project happen.
Now, I know that the cost of what you're offering is very minimal. Please put that into perspective for people.
Yeah, I always say, it's easy and it's affordable. And so we cost out our kits about $36. Now, keep in mind that each kit, if it's properly taken care of, and we stress this, can last up to 3 years. So that's $1 a month to keep a girl in school. A lot of these girls stay home from school when they have their periods. They can't go to school. They fear embarrassment. They fall behind in their studies. And some of them actually need to drop out. And when a girl drops out of school, she's kind of relegated to a life of dependence. A girl who stays in school learns a skill. Some of these girls delay marriage. Some of them have fewer children. And this combined with hand washing techniques, clean toilets, private toilets, all factor into a life of powerfulness and dignity. Imagine a girl, because she doesn't have pads or some way to protect herself during the school day, she stays home. What does she do? There's nothing. She sits home and just waits until it's over. And in my opinion, this just breeds an environment of humiliation, embarrassment, with something that really should be celebrated and part of life, a growing opportunity, nothing that should delay or keep her from being the most powerful young woman she can be.
Wow. So what would be your call to action to anybody who is reading this article who would like to step up and help you in some way? How can people help?
Well, I appreciate your asking because, we can't do this alone. This takes funding. It takes relationships. It takes introductions. And so if on my website, we have a donate button. You can donate in honor of someone, a loved one, or, if you think about it, if we want to bring 5,000 kids into the world next year, 5,000 lives. And I love doing this math. That's 15,000 years. If each one lasts 3 years, 15,000 years of cleanliness, of health, of hope. And so if folks would take a moment and think this through and go to our site and donate, that's how you can help. That's how you can keep girls in a position of power. The thing that often we don't understand, and I have learned, is that girls are the greatest untapped resource known to humankind, like ever. If we could elevate the lives of these girls by giving them the resources that they need to succeed, we take them all out of the houses. We put them in school. We put them into situations where they can provide for themselves, provide for their children. The entire village, based on these girls growing up to be economic contributors, changes the village, changes the region, changes the country, changes the world. You don't think that if we improve the quality of life for girls around the world, you don't think in the United States we wouldn't have that same impact? Of course we would. So contributing to this important work is what I ask people out there to consider very seriously.
Wow. Well, thank you so much for doing this interview, Christine. I know that every single woman out there who is going to listen to this video will hopefully be touched, because this is something that we all experience in our lives.
That's right.
The only difference is that people don't get to choose where they are born. And there is a little girl out there who is sitting at home, not going to school, just because she doesn't have access to sanitary pads.
That's
I
right.
thank you for your work. As you know, I'm from Africa. I can relate to everything that you have said. And I would love to see how I can help and collaborate with you and hopefully bring your product to Africa as well.
Well, I'm hoping so. In fact, we're taking a look at an African country right now. And our end goal really is to have sewing centers that we establish so that we can create jobs for these women as well.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Thank you so much, Christine.
You're
Good
welcome.
luck with all your work.
Thank you very much.
Mhm.